Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and I want to talk about being grateful. I think, man, I don't have the exact quote on me right now, but I think it was Norman Vincent Peale or Norman Van Peele said that the greatest sin is the sin of ingratitude. And, you know, I think especially right now with elections coming up and all that stuff, man, we have a lot of exposure, you know, on the news about all the things that, you know, each side don't do and hasn't done or won't do and what the country ain't doing. And, you know, I think there's just a lot of focus, especially right now, but even without the election, it just as humans, I think, you know, we tend to focus on the things that we don't have versus being grateful and appreciative for the things that we do have. And that's the greatest sin, you know, per se, you know, in Norman Van Peele's opinion. And so I would have to agree that it's got to be up there. And I think that, you know, the antidote to depression and negativity is to be grateful. You know, I heard somebody say before that it's impossible, that studies show that it's impossible to be grateful and depressed at the same time. So I think the pill to the depression is looking at all the things that we have to be grateful for. Do an audit in your life of all the things that you have to be grateful for. I think, you know, people that are ambitious, which I would put myself in that category of being ambitious, people that are ambitious tend to look at only what they don't have a lot. They look at, man, how do we make this better? How do I make that better? How do we, you know, this person or this company is doing that and we're not. So it creates this tendency of us not being grateful. And so I think you should be ambitious. I think we should be ambitious but grateful at the same time. We want to get better. Being grateful doesn't mean being stagnant. It doesn't mean, you know, being lazy, being complacent. It means just, man, I'm looking at all the things that I should have gratitude for. You know, I heard people say before that there's someone on their deathbed that's praying to be exactly where you're at right now. And so are you focusing on that which you don't have, or are you realizing the perspective of, man, somebody on their deathbed would trade me places in a heartbeat right now? What do I got that I could be grateful for? Is it do you have children? Are your children healthy? Is your parents still around? Is your health okay? And what's going on positive in business? What has done well for you in your life and all those things? If we take that perspective, it's going to be a better approach. And I think now in this day and age, you know, where it's crazy to think that one day years ago, out of my whole friend group, out of all the people that I was around, I was the last one. People could verify this. I was the last one on social media. I was anti-social media. People around me encouraged me. And I do got to give a shout out to Maurice Claret from my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio, one of the Ohio State greats. He talked me into it. You know, I remember him explaining to me, it's free advertising, Simon. And this is where the future is going to be. And you got to get on it. And so he kind of gave me that nudge to get on social media. And so here we are. And some of you are probably sick of seeing me and hearing me on social media. And so in this social media world, we have the tendency to see everybody's highlights and don't see everybody's lowlights. I think I saw Deion Sanders, you know, the coach for Colorado, say, you know, I'm trying to develop some of these men's characters, some of the players' character off the field because everybody's telling them how great they are. Can you imagine when you're watching somebody play sports, you're only seeing 2 hours of their best thing that they do all day, right? So what if people only saw your best 2 hours of your day? So we tend to look at on social media other people's highlight clips, and it throws us off of all the things that we have in our own life to be grateful for. I'll give you a personal example. You know, I see young people in my business, young people in our business on our team that are ambitious. And I think so much of social media is great, and some of it it can get their minds twisted because they start looking at what these other people are doing. Oh, this person's selling widgets and they're making $500,000, or this one's selling solar and they made this, or this one did that, or you know, whatever it is. So maybe I should do that. Maybe I should do this. Maybe, man, what I like, I've had people try to point out to me, hey, did you see Patrick Bet David sold his insurance company for $100,000 or 200 or $100 million or 200 million, whatever it was. And I looked at that, and you know, I could see if I was younger how that could have got my mind jacked up a little bit, because as a competitor, as someone that has grown up in the insurance business outside of college, I feel all things being equal from the same starting point, I would give myself, I feel, this isn't a lack of respect for what PBD has accomplished. I love his stuff. I love his content. I love his books. I like a lot of his attitude. I like his highlight clips. I don't know him as a person, but what I do know, I like him, and I gain a lot of knowledge from the stuff and value from the stuff that he puts out for people. All things being equal, though, I feel like if we're side by side and we start from scratch, I feel like I have a good chance of keeping up with them or doing even better, building an insurance company from scratch with the same products, the same situation, the same systems, the same everything. But I never find myself being jealous of he sold his company for $100 million, $200 million. I didn't. I don't right now have that exact opportunity to do that. And so, but I'm grateful for what I do have. So instead of me pointing out that, hey, there's 2-3 people around the country, whether it's him or another guy, they sold this or that, or in the insurance business or whatever it is, my outlook on that is, man, is whatever God had allotted for those folks, he had allotted for those folks. And I'm not counting what they got, their money. They weren't never going to pay my family's bills, and I was never going to pay theirs. They don't even know who I am, probably. So it's none of my business, right? My business is my business, and I'm grateful for my business. This is somebody that spent years, not like 6 months, years on welfare with my mother. And yeah, I mean, you know, my grandparents pitched in. My mom did her best. She worked all hours of the night, weekends to put me in. I went to a decent school. I went to a Catholic high school. Shout out Youngstown, Ursuline. I had, man, what a eclectic, weird upbringing I had that is so rare. But I'm grateful to come from where I come from, and to make, let's just say, I'll just say it's 7 figures or more, you know, every year. I'm not going to say how many more, but just 7 figures, you know, every year for a long time. And nothing in me gets mad at other people or, you know, to where I get bitter of, man, I wasted, you know, 17 years or with this company, or, you know, however long I've been with 19 years, you know, with this company and building this business, and look at this guy and look what he did. And I'm so grateful for what I do have and the life that I have built and the people that I have impacted, that I'm grateful for what God currently has allotted for me. And I'm working daily and weekly with a level of expectation that I know it's going to be more. And I believe when the world thinks, when God thinks, when when it's my turn, I think it'll be our turn and we'll get what we got coming to us. And whatever it is, I'm going to be a good steward of it and be grateful and be better with it than I have been even in the past. And so don't let what other people are doing in your business or out of your business destroy your motivation for where you're currently at and what you have to be grateful for. Some of you listening to this, you could look back 5 years ago and say, man, what I'm doing right now was only a dream. I couldn't even imagine doing this. But how many times are you getting mad and upset about what another person is doing that's better than you or bigger than you? If you don't lose that, comparison can be the thief of joy. First time I heard the quote, it was comparison is the thief of joy. But in sports, you got to compare a little bit. Hey, this person's vertical is bigger than mine, or this person's faster, or this, to compete, you do compare. But if it's hurting you more than it's helping you, then you got to be careful. You got to be able to compartmentalize and only compare and take from the comparison things that are going to help you and not things that are going to hurt you, or you're forever going to be in this place of misery and a lack of gratitude by always comparing yourself to what you don't got and what somebody else does have versus you being grateful for what you do have and working with what you got to work with in this current moment. Because if I could trust you with a little, then I could trust you with a lot. But if you're ungrateful with a little, usually you don't get a lot. And so I just want to encourage you that we're all in this boat. I can look around and see people doing better than me. I go to big cities, Miami, New York, and I see people the same age as me and they can do things I can't do. And I fly on a plane and they fly on a jet. I've been on some jets. I fly on a jet sometimes, but it's not an everyday thing right now. I ain't mad at them. I don't know how they got it. I don't know what they're doing, but I'm grateful for what I got, and I'm grinding, and I'm hustling, and I'm putting the work in, but you're always going to be able to find somebody doing something bigger than you, better than you, and you could let it motivate you, inspire you, or you could cause it to completely get out of your game. For example, baseball players, I think they make way more money on their contracts and it's guaranteed than a football player, so to speak. And so for a D lineman to say, hey, I'm mad, I'm only making $5 million a year over here. I see this guy over here is making $15 million a year guaranteed. I'm going to go play baseball. Well, now all of a sudden you lost your $5 million, you go play baseball, and after a year you get cut. And now you ain't got the $5 million either because you was trying to go get the $15 million. Ambition can bite you in your rear if it's not coming naturally from the right place in a healthy way. And so just the message that I'm trying to pound into your head is stay grateful. Look at the ways, look at the things in your life, look at the things in your business that you have to be proud of yourself. Be grateful for where you're at. Yeah, you could look around, be ambitious. Don't be afraid to jump and take a risk and go do something. That's not what I'm saying. But the message overall is take a look around you and be grateful, and don't be so quick to look at somebody else's highlights and make that other person's highlight make you feel like you're doing so horrible or so far behind when you have so much to be in a spirit of gratitude for. Okay? So keep doubling down on your business if it's working for you, if you're rocking. If it's not, I'm not saying don't be open to doing other things. I'm just saying in a spirit of pressure and stress and things not going your way, just pause for a minute and go out there and give some gratitude to the things going well in your world that you got to be thankful for. Speaking of things to be thankful for, I'm thankful for you guys and the opportunity that you have allowed us to pour into your life. And if you know of anybody that we can help with this podcast, would you do me a favor and share it with people? Just take a minute. I know we can get busy, but the only thing you could do to help us help them, help us all, is to go ahead and take a minute and share a message if you think it's good. And then for those of you on social media, if you're listening, don't be afraid to give me a hashtag. Be grateful and tag me and let me know that you're listening over there. All right. I appreciate you guys. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time on the GRINDcast. Let's get it.